Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good. I see you drank your coffee this morning. So did I. How are you guys doing today? Good. Well, my name is Hisham, and behind me, do you know who these people are? The St. Cloud Symphony Orchestra, right? That's right. Are you excited to listen to some great music today? Yeah! Good, good. Well, today we're going to be playing music for you that was written hundreds of years ago. Probably some music you've never heard, maybe you have, we'll see. Also, we're going to be learning about all the different instruments up here. I think probably some of you maybe already play an instrument. Raise your hand if you already play an instrument. Oh, wow. Okay, we might need you to come up here and play with us too. Okay, so before we get started, I want to just kind of briefly ask a question. So I know there's only a couple hundred of you, so there's not too many. So please raise your hand, and I want to know, what do you think music lets us do? Does anybody? Right here. You hit it on the nail. It lets us express. What does it let us express? Our feelings. Exactly, exactly. That's what we're going to be doing today. But music actually also is really unique because it lets us express the feelings of others. And that's exactly what we do when we play music by Beethoven. Have you heard of Beethoven? That's right. What about Debussy? Have you heard Debussy? Mostly no's, that's right, but a couple yes. And what about Mendelssohn? Good, good. So near the end of the concert, we have a special guest that's going to be playing with us. Okay, so I love the idea of expression because that's exactly what we do. But before we do that, let's learn a little bit about the different instruments in the orchestra. So we have three main groups in an orchestra. We have the strings, which are right here. We have the woodwinds behind them. I think in the front row you might have trouble seeing them. And then we have the mighty brass and percussion as well. The percussion kind of goes with them. Okay? So let's take a little bit of time and just hear how each section sounds in the different instruments. But just so we get a sense, what these people here playing these string instruments, what are these instruments made out of? Wood. They also play with bows. Can you show them your bows? Though the bows are actually, they have, oops, I just stepped on the mic almost. That's not good. The bows are exactly horsehair, I heard it. The bows have horsehair, and that's how we play. Also, hundreds of years ago, their strings were made out of guts. Ew, ew, that's right. We don't do that anymore, but I think it's always a cool little tidbit. So let's hear the violins first. Violins. Oh yes, look, I'm so excited that we forgot to tune. I'm going to let the orchestra tune real quick. So let's be very quiet. Okay, I think they're ready. Let's hear the violins. So, violins, let's hear how your strings sound. Pretty cool. That sounds really high. What about the violas? My favorite of the string instruments. much lower. Who likes the violas? Oh yeah, we all do. Good, good. What about the cellos? Wow, can anybody sing that low? Let's try it. Good, you guys are pretty good, but what about the bass? Let's see if anybody can sing the bass. Wow, that's really low. That almost sounds like you got a tummy ache or something like that. Good, so now that we've heard them with their bows, violins, violas, cellos, and basses can also kind of play like guitars. They can pluck their strings as well. So we actually call that pizzicato. Can we all say pizzicato? Good, you know Italian now. Very good. Listen to the pizzicato. Pretty cool, right? Good, good. So raise your hand if you like the string instruments thus far. I know you all do. Now let's listen to the woodwinds. We're going to go in between and listen to all of them. So we're going to start with the flutes. Can you see the flutes? Does anybody play flute? Okay, good. We have a couple. Here we go. Listen to the flutes. Wow, so sweet, so sweet. Did you guys like that? Good, now let's listen to a really high-pitched instrument, the piccolo. It's a really small flute. Can you see it? Okay, let's listen to the piccolo. Wow, that sounds like whistling, right? Good, good. Thank you so much for doing that. Now we move on to the oboes. They're kind of, sometimes they can sound nasally, like it's really from up here sometimes, but not our oboes because they're fantastic. I love the oboes. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. We'll take a vote at the end to see which instrument wins. We'll take a vote. Now we have the English horn, which is right over here. It's similar to an oboe, but it's a little bit bigger. Let's hear the English horn. Wow. Can anybody sound like that? Good, good, good. You guys are already fantastic. Now let's listen to the clarinets. Anybody play clarinet here? Good. Okay, let's listen to the clarinets. kind of jumpy and bouncy, right? Yeah, you can clap. If you guys like any of this stuff, you should clap. Good. Now we go to my favorite woodwind instrument, the bassoon. Can you see the... Wow. I know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Let's listen to how the bassoon sounds. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, now I want you to think of your favorite woodwind instruments so far, and we're going to hear them all together, because musicians play together to express music. So that's what exactly we're going to do right now. See if you can pick out your favorite instrument out of all of these woodwinds, okay? Did you hear your favorite instrument? No? What was your favorite instrument back there? Yeah, I saw you raise your hand. The bassoon. Good choice, good choice. They're all good choices. Okay, now we need to move on. We have so much to cover, so we have to kind of move quick. Now we need to hear the brass. The brass are really, they're great. They're great people. They like to play really loud sometimes. But to begin the brass, we're actually not going to start with these guys over here. We're going to start with the horns in the back. Let's look at the horns. So a really, really interesting thing about the horns that you might not know is that while all these instruments, they either blow into their instruments to produce sound or use bows towards you, their sound actually hits the wall first and then it comes over here. So their bells, which that's where the sound comes out of, actually are pointed towards the wall. Isn't that kind of cool? So they kind of have to be magicians. They're wonderful. They're wonderful. Let's hear the horns. Good. Thank you so much. I love that. I love that. We'll hear more of that soon. Now, does anybody play trumpet? Do your parents like that you play trumpet? I'm sure they do. Let's hear the trumpet. Well, let's see the trumpets. Wow. Two very distinct trumpets, actually. Well, one very nice. They have a lot of character. Let's hear how they sound. Imagine doing that at 7 in the morning. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now let's listen to the trombones, which kind of look like trumpets, but they're a lot bigger. Look at the trombones. And actually, look, there are different sizes. We have an alto trombone, a little trombone. the tenor trombone, which is a little bigger, and then the bass trombone, well, it's even bigger. Let's hear how they sound. I love the trombones. I love the trombones. I have a special surprise, and you might not be able to see back there, but we have the timpani. The what? The timpani. There are some really big drums back there, which unfortunately Terry, I don't think, can carry. And that rhymed, and I did not intend that to rhyme. So let's listen to the timpani and see if you recognize the tune. What tune was that? I heard it. Somebody said it. George of the Jungle. That's right. Excellent job. But now, let's hear all the brass together with Terry and see how they sound. See if you can pick out your favorite of the brass instruments. Just give me one moment. Thank you, thank you. We're good. Wow! I love the brass. I love the brass. And I always tell them to just play really loud because everybody loves the brass, right? So, now we're actually going to play some music for you because, again, all these musicians, even though they're individuals and they all play their own instrument and practice at home, they all come together once a week and rehearse music to perform for audiences like you. So we're going to be playing some really exciting music that you've probably heard in commercials or something like that. So, raise your hand again if you've heard of Beethoven. Who hasn't heard of Beethoven? Wow, a number of you. That's okay. Well, now you will know Beethoven. Beethoven lived over 250 years ago. A long time ago. He was arguably the most revolutionary composer that ever lived thus far. He completely changed the course of music history with his music, and really with actually the piece that we're going to play for you today. Unfortunately for Beethoven, later in life, he started going deaf. So he started losing his hearing. Can you imagine starting to lose your hearing as a composer? That would be tragic. That would be tragic. And for Beethoven, it really was. And in order to express his frustrations with that, he wrote some music. So first, I want to see on the count of 3, I'd like for you to express excitement. How do you express excitement? Thank you. How about this? Give it up if you're from Sartell, Riverview. Thank you. Okay, I take it. If you're watching the video, give yourself a round of applause from wherever you may be. So, yeah, that's how you express excitement. What about, how do you express sadness? Good, good. Good, 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 good. What about frustration? Okay. Guys. It's 9:45. It's a little early to be frustrated, no? Now, my personal favorite, how do you express being sleepy and tired? Okay, good. Thank you. So you're all experts at expressing emotions. Beethoven, in his 5th symphony, does just that, but with music. He was going deaf, so he expressed his anger at whatever was in front of him, whatever he thought was causing his deafness. So let's listen to how he expressed frustration and anger and see if you agree. Who recognizes that? Does that sound angry? I think so. Do you think we could make it sound pretty and beautiful? Let's try it. It's excerpt 1 again. Let's try making it legato cantabile. Let's go back to angry now. Sounds pretty angry to me. Okay, thank you. Now, we're going to be, and I know everybody's really excited, so just contain your energy, which is good. We're going to play a little bit of a longer section, and Beethoven really kind of expresses a lot of his anger and frustration with rhythm, with kind of an incessant rhythm. Da, 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 always. So quietly tap your foot along to the music right now. Quietly tap your foot. Quietly. Measure 6. Good. Good. Thank you. So that's how it's pretty easy to tap your foot too, right? You get in a groove. Later on, we're going to see that gets a little bit more complicated. Now, Beethoven, in this symphony, at the very end, which we won't play yet, he does triumph over his frustrations. Yeah? But early on right now, he's going to give us a glimpse of the hope that he has. So he's going to be expressing hope for a brighter future for himself. So let's hear how that sounds. Pretty hopeful, right? I think that sounds pretty hopeful and optimistic. But Beethoven actually does something different. Within all that hope, he actually has that da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum in this hope section. So now listen to the cello basses who are going to be joining us. And so amidst all this hope that Beethoven has, he's still frustrated underneath. Let's hear it. Good. You heard it, right? Good, good. So we actually have, we're doing pretty good with time here. So what I'm going to do is now we're going to play a little bit of a longer section for you to enjoy, and then we'll come back and hear some more music. So sit back, relax for the next 3-4 minutes. We're going to hear the whole first movement of Beethoven Symphony No. 5. Could we get the spotlights off? I'm sorry. exciting, right? Has anyone heard that before? Good. Okay, so because of time, I want to make sure that we cover a lot of things. So we're going to skip a little bit of the Beethoven and go to Debussy now. We're going to be going to Debussy, who was this French composer from the 19th century, the 1800s. And the way that he expressed himself, see, he was kind of a rebel at school. He studied Beethoven, he studied all these composers, but he wanted to do his own thing. And the way he did that was actually by saying, you know what, I'm going to write something really completely new. And what he did was he just completely got rid of rhythm. Even though his music is very rhythmic, he said, you know what, I'm going to make it so unclear that nobody can follow what is going on. So what I want you to do, like when we were tapping Beethoven, I want you to try and tap the rhythm of this piece. And but tap it quietly, because it's very soft. And let's see if anybody is successful in doing so. Where is the rhythm? There is no rhythm. That's how he expressed himself. He said, I'm just tired of all this everybody being so rhythmic that he just said, I'm not going to do any of that. Also, the way that he really wanted to express himself is he wanted to express what it's like to be dreaming. You know, the story about this piece is about a faune. That's a half man, half goat mythical creature who is actually a practicing flutist, believe it or not. Yeah? But he's practicing so much that he falls asleep. And in his dreams, fairies come and mythical creatures, and they kind of take him over the forest and just have a weird dream where you don't know, there's no rhyme or reason. Things are just up and down, and it's kind of really fun. So we're going to play for you that section and see if it sounds like a dream to you. Here's where he falls asleep. very sleepy. Yeah, give it up for the St. Cloud Symphony. Okay, so we don't have too much time left. So what I want to do now is I want to bring out the piano, which I think we all know what the piano is. And I'd like to introduce to you a very special guest. Playing with the St. Cloud Symphony is a 9th grader. What? Yeah. Because he's just so good at playing the piano. So I want you all to give a big round of applause for TJ Stang. Here. So, TJ, how old are you, TJ?
I'm 15.
15. And you guys are? Good. So not too far off, Well, let me ask TJ, when did you start playing piano?
Start taking lessons at 6, but I basically messed around with piano from 4.
Good. So he started quite early. What do you like about the piano?
It's fun, and I get to do stuff like this, which is really, really cool. Apart from what's different about the piano from all of these other instruments, apart from like the violins and some other things, is that you can play a lot of notes at one time. The violins, you can kind of sort of get 3, maybe 4, but the piano you can play, if you really wanted to, and if you had big enough hands, all 88 keys at the same time.
How many keys?
88.
That's a lot of keys.
It's a lot of keys. It's a lot of notes.
It's a lot of notes. Good. So, I'm curious, a lot of these kids, raise your hand again if you play an instrument. Good, so raise your hand if you don't play an instrument yet. If some of these kids wanted to play an instrument, do you have any advice for them?
Try it out, see what you like. Obviously, I'm kind of biased to piano.
I would take it. Well, let me ask you a question, you guys, since we have a little bit of time. Raise your hand if you really like the strings. What about the woodwinds? The bassoon, I love the bassoon. What about the brass? Good, and who here wants to bang on some drums? That's what I thought. And what about piano? Who wants to play piano? Okay, good, so everybody wants to play piano. So actually, TJ, if you don't mind, TJ and I and the St. Cloud Symphony Orchestra are going to play for you a piece by Mendelssohn. Now, a piano concerto. So this concerto is really, really difficult, but it's really cool. And like TJ said, music is fun. And that's, I think, why you chose to play this piece, because it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Good. So sit back, enjoy this movement, and watch his fingers fly, because it's going to be fast. Fingers can't fly. Well, these fingers are going to fly, so check it out. Okay, sit back and enjoy.